Hey, this is Vishal from ThinkXLogic. How many of these mind-bending logic puzzles can you solve? Puzzle 1. Here we have the following matchsticks arrangement, such in number. The matchsticks form an equation that is technically incorrect. The challenge is to move one matchstick and make the equation correct. There are many ways to solve this type of puzzles. So how can you do it? These type of puzzles are fun to solve and tricky. Question shows the equation. 6 addition 4 equal to 4, which is technically incorrect. There could be many possible ways to solve this kind of puzzle. One way of solving this puzzle by moving the lower left matchstick of 6 and placing it to the top of 4, which is on the right-hand side, and making it 9. Now the equation becomes 5 addition 4, which equals to 9. Congratulations, we have solved our first puzzle, and that's the answer. Puzzle 2. Imagine you draw a circle. Then you start slicing it with straight lines, one after another, dividing it into smaller and smaller regions. Now, here's the challenge. Color the resulting regions, so that no two adjacent regions, that is, regions that share a border, have the same color. What's the least number of colors you need to guarantee that works no matter how many lines you draw? At first glance, it feels like the more lines you draw, the more colors you'll need. Right? What if I told you, you only ever need is 2? Yep. Just 2 colors are enough, even if the circle is split into 100 pieces. Let's break it down. First with one line, which gives 2 regions. Alternate colors. Easy. Adding another line, now there are 4 regions. Still alternating works, just like a checkerboard. Adding third line, you just need to flip the colors on one side of the new line. And we are done. And that will goes on for infinitely many lines. Even though the regions may look random, the logic underneath is beautifully consistent. Sometimes in math, chaos hides perfect order. You don't always need more to solve more. You just need the right perspective. Did you guess 2 colors? Or did this one surprise you? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Puzzle 3. You're looking at a simple grid. Just 5 rows and 5 columns of dots. But here's the twist. How many squares of any size or orientation can you find hidden in this grid? Easy, right? Most people say 16. Others say 30. But what if I told you it's actually 61? Let's break it down and see why this deceptively simple puzzle stumps so many. First, let's count the axis-aligned squares, the ones that sit perfectly in the grid. Then we've got 16 squares of size 1 by 1, 9 of size 2 by 2, 4 of size 3 by 3, and 1 big 4 by 4 square. That's 30 squares so far. But now comes the fun part. Rotated squares. These tilted squares can be found using Pythagorean theorem. Even though they're tilted, they still have equal sides and right angles. And yes, they count. Now the tilted square, we've got 9 squares of size root 2, 8 of size root 5, and 3 of size root 10. By checking all possible vectors and rotations, we find 20 more squares, like diamonds hiding in plain sight. So the full answer is 30 axis-aligned squares add 20 tilted ones, which is equals to 50 total squares in a 5 by 5 grid of points. And that's the answer. Puzzle 4. A man walked for 5 hours. First, along a level road at 4 miles per hour, then up a hill at 3 miles per hour, and then he turned around and walked back downhill at 6 miles per hour to the starting point along the same path. Find the distance he walked. At first it seems like it's incomplete and lack of information in question, so let's give it a try. Firstly, we have to plot the path he traveled. So first, he walked along a level road at 4 miles per hour, then up a hill at 3 miles per hour, and then he turned around and walked back downhill at 6 miles per hour to the starting point along the same path. Let D1, D2, D3, and D4 be the distance of paths, and capital D as total distance he walked. Now we know D1 and D4 are equal, and D2 and D3 are equal, Then equation becomes 2d1 addition 2d2, which is equal to capital D. Let t1, t2, t3, and t4 be the time taken for paths, and we know total time man walk, which is 5 hours. Now we have to transform and take time equal to distance upon speed. Then replacing every t with their corresponding new term, then simplifying the equation, we got d1 addition d2 is equal to 10. Now putting value of d1 and d2, we got 20. So the total distance he walk is 20 miles. He surely have a very active lifestyle. Puzzle 5. Here's a puzzle that seems impossible until it isn't. Can you make a square using just 3 straight lines? No tricks, no curved lines. Just 3 straight lines on canvas, and somehow a square has to appear. This is a viral question that gained much popularity, but today we find out one way to solve this tricky puzzle. Firstly, most people draw one line, then another, and quickly realize squares need 4 sides, right? But who said the sides of square have to be the lines given? Thinking cleverly can help. Let's draw 3 lines making 3 sides of square, which seems incomplete square. Now's the trick, using the frame as the 4th side of square. And there it is, 4 corners, for equal angles and symmetry from edge to edge. Sometimes the solution isn't where you're looking, it's where you're not. Did you figure it out, or did you have a different perspective? Drop your perspective in the comments. If this one surprised you and you learned something new today, you can support us by liking this video, sharing to friend and family. Make sure to subscribe for more puzzles that bend your brain.